Welcome. Let's spotlight some of our most impressive features of Martus. We're going to start on the Dashboard Financials. This is where we're going to have our built-in standard reporting that, while standard, is still very flexible. You'll see that I have my Martus set up to land on the income statement. This is one of the most utilized reports in Martus, as it's most utilized because it is very flexible. You'll notice here that I can change how my rows are grouped. In this instance of Martus, we have our accounting system set up to tag each account with the location, department, and project of that transaction. I'm going to change my rows here to location. Now that I've done that, I actually have quite a few ways to get even more information out of Martus. The first is that I can expand my rows. By expanding my rows, I'm going to get not only the location, but the accounts underneath. So now, we're getting so much more data out of Martus simply by clicking that Expand button. That Expand option is available in almost all of our standard reports. The other thing I can do from here is when I'm on the Location View Summary, I can choose another dimensional aspect to view under my rows. Now we can see our location and departments with drillable links. We're going to talk about those in just a moment. The other thing that makes our Dashboard Financials so powerful is that for our end users, we can set them up to see only the data that we want them to see. For example, I'm going to come into our Forecast report. This is one of our most utilized reports for our end users because it really gives them the picture of how they're doing with their budget to actuals. Now, currently, we're logged in as an admin user, meaning we're seeing everything across the organization. But let's go ahead and set up one of our users so that they can come into the Forecast report and only see the data that's relevant to them. Let's go to Set Up Users. You'll notice that I already have a user set up. I did that just by entering Kenny's email, first and last name. Now, when I click on Edit, I'm going to jump over to the Permissions tab. I'm going to choose the role of department, and that's going to give Kenny basic access to Martus, including our dashboard financial reports and our planner summary and worksheets, which we'll talk about in other videos. Now, I'm going to hop over to the Dimensions tab, and I'm going to load my locations here. Now, we're just going to give Kenny access to our general, East Lake, and Shoreline locations. We could give any user access to one, some, or all of their locations. Next, let's jump over to our department dimension, and Kenny is just overseeing our counseling services. So that's the only department that he should have access to. I'm going to go ahead and hit Save, and now we have Kenny all set up, ready to go in Martus. Not only do we have a great users report in Martus that will show you exactly what's happening with any of your users, but we also have the ability to impersonate any user. Let's use Martus as Kenny now. So you can see Kenny up here in the top right corner. Now, another thing our admins have done for Kenny is saved reports so that he can jump right into exactly the reports he needs to see. Let's jump into our Forecast report. You'll notice here that we have less accounts than we did when we were viewing the data as an admin user. You'll also notice that in our drop-downs here, we can only see our counseling services, and in our location, we can see the 3 locations. Now I could still set my rows to location, but I also want to point out that Kenny, as an end user, also has the ability to view all of the actuals through the last closing date and the budget for the remainder of the year. And for those actuals, he has the ability to jump right into the transactions so that he can see what is making up that charge. This is really helpful for our users who, previous to Martus, would need to reach out to their finance team to find out what is composing that number. The other thing Kenny can do here is he may want to know what is in his actual budget. So if I click on the amount here in the budget column, I'm going to be able to view the budget worksheets where the budget line is actually held, be able to see the full year's budget, as well as drill in further and see even more of the budget if needed.